Welcome, 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 everyone out there, grown folk, children, and babies. Welcome back to the CallMeNakomi World podcast and live video. If you're seeing this on YouTube, I really appreciate you guys coming back again. It's always a pleasure to have you being here to talk about different topics as they come to mind. And Today, I actually have a special guest with me, my friend Omarr, long time friend Omarr. Go ahead and say hi, Omarr, to everybody out
Yo,
there.
what's good, Miss Lady? It's good to talk with you. It's good to see you. I know it's been a minute. Thank you for allowing me to be on your amazing show. It's an honor, and I'm humbled. And shoot, I'm excited to see what we got going tonight.
Same here, same here. Absolutely. I am really enjoying, experiencing this ability to share with everybody. And also, I've always been craving. I got to do a interview with a friend about a while back, and I really enjoyed that. And so I was really looking forward to having another guest on my podcast, basically. And you were one of the first people who came to mind. I was just like, yo, we used to have the best conversations. We used to work together, guys. So we
Yep.
used to have the best conversations while we're just out there trying to pound away our work, just keep your head down, do your thing. But we would just
Yep,
basically be
exactly.
just dropping jokes all day long. And it just made the whole day go by real quick. And Omarr was always just a favorite employee that I worked with back in the day. So I was just like, yo, one day I was like, me and Omarr gotta have a conversation. So um tell them a little bit about your experience. This is not a novice to the world of talking and content creating. Please, Omarr, tell them a little about yourself, man.
So again, thank you for the great introduction. Yes, I have been in the world of radio and broadcast for many moons. I started off with my own personal podcast, The Real O Show, and it turned into a
Right,
radio
right.
show, very successful.
That's what's up, man.
I had my team, and we did it for several years, internet radio.
Mm,
And then we moved on to internet television. And I mean, we talked about everything. We talked about social justice. We talked about music. We talked about sports. We talked about family. Primarily we focused on small business. That was huge for me.
mm,
Is focusing on small business because small business, they get a bum rap. They don't get to be able to promote like big business because it is so expensive. So we focused on allowing small business to promote through the show. So yeah, I've been around the block. I love being on radio. I love being able to talk to people and hearing their thoughts and bringing up new ideas and things like that. So to be able to come back on your show, it's a little nostalgic, and I am loving it, and I'm feeling the vibe, and I'm excited. So let's knock it out the park, and let's enjoy our evening.
absolutely, absolutely. As we come here to do, as we proceed to give you what you need, as here we go. Let's just jump right into it, guys. So there's been a lot of things going on, and as I see different topics, I've been shooting, Omarr, just different topics because I'm just like, yo, I would love to basically talk about this topic or that topic with you, whatever like that. He's done the same, so of course we're going to talk about a movie that I've been wanting to basically talk about with somebody. And I'm really glad that O saw it and we both are here. I'm sorry for people who can't see
Yeah,
me
yeah,
with the two fingers
eye to
at
eye,
the
eye to
eyes,
eye.
eye to
Yes, eye
eye.
to
We
eye.
right here. We here. you know but that movie is They Cloned Tyrone. I don't know if you guys have seen it on Netflix. If you haven't, it's an instant classic in my opinion. I mean, I've seen
it,
tons of movies. I personally feel like it's an instant classic.
this is one of those movies. It has Jamie Foxx in it, before he got sick and whatnot. Which
Hmm.
Jamie, I'm glad you're doing better. Welcome back. I'm
Absolutely.
glad to the doctors and everybody in your family. Blessings to you. We send all the love, all the grace, towards you that you continue to get better. So we're just throwing
Absolutely.
that out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it has Jamie Foxx in it. I mean, and he it has to be one of the most iconic roles that Jamie has ever done. Ever.
It's up there with Ray Charles. It's up there with Ray Charles. It low
Okay, see,
key
Ray
is Ray
Charles is
Charles.
great.
It's low key.
Ray Charles is, but see, Ray Charles is different because Ray Charles,
Right.
he had to play a biopic, and
Absolutely.
he's playing an
Absolutely.
actor. But this is one of those characters where he plays a pimp,
Yes.
but he's not a really successful pimp.
Not
He's
really. I
one
mean,
of those hood rat pimps
he got a little
that,
stable. He got a little stable. He's, from meager beginnings. You know what I'm saying? He has him out on the stroll. You know what I'm saying? He got his game going. He basically, but at the same time, the fur is old. The fur coat's old, and
right.
he won the Pips Ball back in 1995. You got to give him his respect. God damn it, he deserved his respect.
Hey, look, man, I remember back being, I think I was maybe 13 years old. And I remember on HBO, they showed the Pimps and Hoes.
Yes. The
What was it?
Players
It was
Ball. The
yes,
Players Ball.
yeah, and man, I saw, Ice T was out there, Big Daddy
Groundbreaking
Kane
TV.
was there. I mean, you had everybody
Snoop,
was out
Bishop
there.
Don Juan.
Yes, yes, man, it was the greatest show I swear I've ever seen. So take that. If you've ever seen that, this is Jamie Foxx role. It's perfect, absolutely perfect. But
Absolutely.
the overall movie is pretty much follows a low key drug dealer, from the inner
Glen.
Black City.
Yeah, the Glen.
And just
insert Black City, the Glen.
yes,
Yeah.
air quotes. Insert yes, air quotes.
Yeah.
And basically it follows him and what his daily life is running the streets, as a drug dealer. Him battling other drug dealers on the block.
Right.
Him having to meet up
chase
with,
down people for his money. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And also chase people off of his block, which pretty much, it brings about or starts the conflict of the story. Basically, is Fontaine. That's his name, Fontaine. He needs his money, and basically, he goes looking for Slick Charles, not Slim Charles from The Wire. Slick Charles, who is played by Jamie Foxx. Jonathan Boyega plays Fontaine.
But not yes,
absolutely amazing
role. Yes, but not when it's time for the Oscars to come around. If these two are not in the conversation, which we already know how
they in our conversation.
Yeah.
But hopefully that conversation goes over the web because I don't know. I want to say other things, but basically shout out to all the actors and writers out there on strike right now, doing the thing, keeping us entertained, man.
Yes. You all don't get the credit that you rightfully deserve for the amount of work that you do behind the scenes. All we see is the actors in front of the camera, but it takes years to write scripts, and everything else to make sure that it's perfect for those actors. So to the writers, we're with you. We stand by you. Get your money. To the actors, thank you for supporting the writers. That Absolutely. Right there says a lot.
No, actors, they both had their beef. They both had that beef. And matter of fact, I just heard that the special effects, like digital effects people and special effects people, their union IATSE, they're planning on going on strike soon. Or they basically have issues also. I tell you right now, their motto is with no tiki torches needed, but their motto is AI will not replace me. Absolutely.
Absolutely. And we're going to talk about that later.
Whole another conversation. But back
to the movie. Back to the movie. If you haven't seen it, yes, as you said, if you haven't seen it, it is iconic for the message that is broadcast through the movie. So go ahead.
No, yeah, absolutely. I mean, okay, so basically, He's on his way. Slim Charles basically went missing when he needed to give him his money for his product. So he goes to go see Slim Charles. Yes, Slick Charles.
Slick Charles.
So Slick Charles, he goes to go see Fontaine, goes to go see Slick Charles, and then basically when he finds his product, he leaves, and then he gets lit up right outside. This gets lit up.
Yep.
Goes next thing you know, he wakes up the next morning. Next morning, he just wakes up in his and he just, I guess he feels like it's a dream.
Mind you, with that, everybody else who was around saw him get just taken out.
Absolutely.
Wasted.
Without doubt.
He wakes up, the next morning as though nothing has changed. It's just the same old day, and he's just doing the same old thing. Now, when he's walking around, everybody's like,
lifting weights,
hold up,
riding around in his old car, basically checking on his product and laying up with his friends. That same thing, going to the convenience store, getting a scratch off. You lose every single time, and a 40 and a Rillos.
Yes.
Anarillos.
Yes, got to.
with the Anaconda malt liquor. It's the perfect blend of humor and realism. Black drama, realistic Black trauma. It's so many levels. I mean, it's so many layers. It's the onion. This whole movie. So he wakes up next day, goes back to Slick Charles, and Slick Charles is like, oh my God, he's haunting me. I done seen you get lit up. Mm-hmm. If you don't believe me, go and ask Yo-Yo. She was another. She was
one of his top workers.
His top workers, or
one of his top workers. That's what we gonna call it.
That's what we're gonna call it. Yes, that's when I called it in my notes. I called her a lady of the night, because that's basically that's the nice way to say it. She was a lady of the night. And so basically she was like, yeah, basically I saw you get lit up. I even saw the car that did it. And so they basically try to find a car. And instead of the car that he assumes he's going to find, she sees the car that basically left the scene, which was a black SUV. So they basically pop out. Fontaine's like, I need to basically figure out what happened. He pops out. They scared, but they pop out too and follow him inside. And then they basically find it's a trap house. On the outside, it looks like a trap house, but they come inside and it basically looks like a job. It has a break room with lockers and a TV and a vending machine. It's so much. And so they basically they trying to figure out what's going on. They searching around the house and they find an elevator behind the closet door. They decide to take the elevator down despite their instincts.
Let's understand who we talking about here. We know better.
We know better.
We know better.
We know better. We know fear.
We know better. We just gonna leave it like that. We know better.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. But in spite of their better judgment, they decide to follow him down there, and they find a lab. And in that lab, they find all kind of chemicals, a white powder that for some reason makes Slick Charles giggle. And on top of it all, they find on a slab Fontaine's body with holes in it. Obviously, that basically scares everybody. They all leave.
Now,
they can't believe it.
Let's leave it there, because we don't want to give the I
don't want to give too much away. It's not a full. It's not a full. What's the name? It's not a full review. It's not a full review. But these are our thoughts. You want to go first, bro?
Yeah, I can. So in the movie, they did, as she just said, that they find his body and whatnot, but throughout the movie, you see how our culture interact with one another on a regular, consistent basis.
Mm-hmm.
You see Fontaine walk out the liquor store. You see that old man that's always sitting out in front of the liquor store. He gives
Yep.
him a little bit of his 40, it's
Mm-hmm.
like, thanks, brother, and then he goes about his day. You see, of course, the chicken restaurant with
Mm-hmm.
all the black folks in the chicken restaurant eating the chicken.
Goddamn chicken.
So we got to eat our fried chicken. So
Oh,
I mean, this movie absolutely is a message of our culture.
absolutely.
And what it also is, it's also a message of how the government sees our culture.
It's preach. Continue.
So one of the things that I would say that you could correlate with this movie is the 1980s, early 1980s, when all of a sudden in black communities you had a slew of automatic rifle guns
Mm.
and coke.
Mm-hmm.
Now, last I checked, last I knew, about 95% of the black culture has never left the United States.
Tell me about it, bro.
And last I checked, coke came from South America.
Sure enough. I mean,
So
it's not in Bed-Stuy. Ain't no poppy fields in Bed-Stuy.
I'm not the smartest person in the world, but if 95% of the black culture has never left the country and coke is from South America, how exactly did we get so much coke in the hood?
I mean,
I
I
mean,
knew
I
I knew a guy who knew a guy who knew a guy. I mean, it's
oh
public record that basically the CIA was funneling drugs into the into the low income communities around the country, especially
mm-hmm.
Black and Latino communities. So I mean, it's not beyond the realm of our imagination that the government can tamper with your community in a malicious way. It's almost second. It's almost like, yeah, of course. That's how we see it. That's why what makes this movie, while it's almost outlandish, it's not, because
It's a
basically
bit of realism.
it's right in the wheelhouse. Beyond basically, I don't mean to cut you off of your, if you want to continue,
No,
I could
no, you're
basically,
good. You're good.
go. I'm just like, beyond the ideas of them interfering with our communities, is also the fact that a lot of the topics of the movie has to deal with them physically affecting us through food and through chemicals that we basically ingest and absorb into our bodies. And that's something that has been documented that the government basically worked on. So it's
Now,
all a part of what we go through.
Now, with that being said, what would you say of current recent events would you say can correlate to that? The Popeyes chicken sandwich.
Exactly. Yes.
Now,
Exactly.
how many of you, how many, I would love to hear how many of your listeners went and stood in line for 2 hours to get that Popeyes chicken sandwich?
Please go ahead. Okay, so you can email me at CallMeNakomi@gmail.com. Go ahead and hit me up. If I put this on YouTube, go ahead and just drop a comment in the comments. Like, subscribe. Please remember to do that. Go ahead and follow me also at CallMeNakomi@gmail.com. Not Gmail, sorry. CallMeNakomi on Instagram, and CallMeNakomi the number 1 on sorry, what's that? X now? So whack. I
Yo,
swear to
yeah,
God.
yeah.
Anyway, go ahead
Yeah,
and
we
drop me a
can't call it
message. Let
Twitter
me
no
know
more.
what y'all feel about that, about the Popeyes chicken. If you think that was mind control on their account, or do you think
Come
that it
on
was just
now.
us loving
Come
chicken?
on now. Well, now think
I'm
about
glad I
that.
didn't.
For
I'm not even
2 weeks,
gonna front. I still haven't even had one. Go ahead. What'd you say?
I had it for the first time
Mm.
like 3 months ago, 4 months ago, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But for
Mm-hmm.
those 2 weeks, that Popeye's chicken sandwich was popping everywhere. You could not go nowhere without nobody talking about it.
Yo, that joint was sold out like Jordans on Christmas night. It was gone. It was gone. You had to get the hookup from your man's down the street. Like, yo, yo,
Yep.
open the trench coat. I got chicken. Come on, yo. It was with some extra level stuff. I was like, why people lose? I live in Georgia, so we got Chick-fil-A all over the world, basically. So chicken sandwiches is a chicken sandwich is a chicken sandwich. It's not a big thing for me, basically. So when people was talking about they had lines wrapped around, the only thing I could see a line wrapped around a store for is two things: Chick-fil-A and Krispy Kreme. I don't know nothing else that's gonna make people join a double line wrapped around a building.
Yeah, talking about we out of chicken.
We
Like,
out of
how do you
chicken.
go to a chicken restaurant and you got no chicken?
It's what you do. But I'm not even gonna front because Golden Crust be doing that. Golden Crust be killing me, yo. Golden Crust be killing me. How you going to be out of patties and it's lunchtime? Son, all you do is patties. How are you out of patties? Anyway, I got triggered
But
because of
yeah,
food. Food
so
triggers
but
me,
that's
man. Food triggers
it
me.
is. And that's what this movie is about. This movie showcased, how the government can get inside and influence and manipulate what happens in the inner city.
Right.
And that's
Exactly.
what that's what the message is. So I know a lot of people didn't get the message. I understand it. They just watched it for the sci-fi funny
Or for
factor,
Jamie.
whatever. Yeah, Jamie Foxx, exactly, because they wanted to see, how he was doing, kind of thing.
Is he a
But
clone?
yeah, right, exactly. Come on now, like that
Yeah.
whole thing, people. Oh my gosh.
I kind of wonder.
Oh,
I was like, is this a chicken or the egg or a Mandela effect kind of thing? So I'm just like, why did I think I heard that he was cloned before I even heard that the movie came out? I wasn't sure which one came first. So I was just like, let me find out was a ripple in the multiverse right quick. So I'm like, he got cloned. I mean, he was a little light skinned in that video that proof
the
of life
man was
video that he
in a
released.
hospital bed for like a month. What do you man?
He
Look,
ain't
anybody
getting
that's
no
ever been in a
sun.
hospital knows the food sucks. There ain't no
He,
sunlight,
he said,
and I mean, come on now.
he said, take me to go get a Popeye's chicken sandwich. As soon as he got up, he said, I need me two. He woke up like Biggie in Notorious. He said, give me
Give me a two
two,
piece.
give me two pieces. Get the
Hey,
dude next
look.
door out of my room because he be snoring all night.
Yep.
Anyway,
That's how our
sorry.
people do. That's how our people do.
Sorry.
But yeah,
And
I agree with you. If you haven't seen the movie, you got to watch it. You have to. It's just it will absolutely go down in Black culture as one of the greats. It really,
absolutely.
really will.
And not only because of the social the what's that these social topics that basically come out of it, but also because of the humor. That the movie was funny. It wasn't just thought-provoking, it was funny. I mean, it was I said to myself, I
Black
said,
humor. It's
why
Black
black
humor.
humor? Absolutely. It was Harlem Nights, like Coming to America, quotable movie type movie. Like people are gonna watch it like it's like Friday. People are gonna watch it and be like, yo, that is a classic hood, classic
Yes.
Black movie. My homeboy at my job was talking to me about it, and he was saying that how it's like a Black exploitation movie made by Black people in this current time. And with the humor, that basically goes with all of our great movies. And And I was like, exactly, because it looks like that kind of period piece of back in the 70s with Slick Charles, but then basically it's more modern with Fontaine, and so it's like a mashup of that basically with lots of different little tiny tropes and stuff like that, basically. But I just loved it because I thought it was thought-provoking, and it was funny, and it was authentically Black. I called it an authentic Black version of the Twilight Zone. That's what it felt like to me. Because it was just like, wow, yeah, that could actually happen. I'm creeped out now. I don't want no more chicken. I'm never perming my hair ever again.
I have not had any chicken since I saw that movie.
I'm not buying another scratch off. Yo, until right now, it makes you. It's current. It feels like, you know, current events type stuff, but it feels like it could have been happening to us anytime since, you know, since basically like the 50s. Anytime since then, it feels like this could have been a program that happening right underneath our noses, and we wouldn't even know. We're just going along with the flow, trying to survive, and wondering why the trap stays a trap. You know what I'm saying? Right. And so, but it was just like, I loved all of that and all the thought-provoking parts, but it was just like, as much of a thriller it was, we just, in our own element, we can't stay serious to save our own lives. Like when they're going on the elevator and Slick Charles starts singing, I'm going down. And then they start ad-libbing and basically putting their own words to it. I'm just like, I used to do that since I was in 6th grade. This is the best thing in the world. It just felt so amazing to me, man. It just felt so amazing to me. It was a great experience.
Black people have been doing things since forever.
Yo.
If we don't know the words to a song, we're gonna create our own.
Exactly. So
and we'll keep the same beat, keep the same rhythm, you know, but we're gonna put in our own lyrics. But Absolutely. It's still gonna be a great song.
And it's still gonna be great. Let a motherfucker try me. Yo, I could watch that movie several times and just giggle. Anyway, but all right, great movie. Please go out and watch it. Tell me what y'all think about the movie. Tell me what y'all think, what y'all thought about the Popeyes chicken sandwich. Tell me if you thought it was really that, you know, that cocaine on a toasted brioche bun, like people acted like it was. Please let me know. But so I'm trying to stick to a tight schedule here on the time. So basically, want to move on real quick. This is about the second topic. Just before we basically sign off for the night. Basically, we got about 8 minutes and 45 seconds left to be exact. Anyway, okay. But while the recording is still going. So, but the second topic that we wanted to talk about, it kind of ties into what we're talking about right now, because basically it's about the Black experience in America. And I want everybody to know.
Coming.
And
it was coming.
Slow train coming.
They were waiting. The bat signal was called. They sent out the bat signal.
I should have on my fitted hat right now for this show. Just because of that, and then so I need a shirt. It up in the air.
Need a shirt. Look, if you don't know what we're talking about, we're talking about Montgomery, Alabama. Montgomery, we are putting you on the map. We love you. And the 16-year-old gentleman, I have to give him a shout out.
What was his name? Andre? No, Aaron. His name is Aaron. I heard that. Okay. Shout out to you, Aquaman Aaron. Yes. You did the thing out there. Yes. Otherwise, this event, some people call it the Brawl in Birmingham, Alabama. Not Birmingham, sorry, Montgomery, Alabama. And Sean King, he called it the Montgomery Mollywop. I really love that. That was amazing. I just love how we are just so creative that we can celebrate and just view something and not specifically celebrate it, but at the same time come together and say,
no, we celebrate.
We locate celebrate.
Look, Black History Month got moved from February to August officially. It is now in, to quote a great president. Put it on the board. To quote a great president, August 5th will go down in history, in infamy.
In infamy. In infamy.
A day that will go down in infamy.
They woke a giant.
I'm telling you, like this day, people have been sitting in their feelings. It's been festering. They've been waiting for it. And the moment the bat signal went up, it was on and popping.
And I'm sure he never even practiced that. It was just the spirit. The spirit moved through him and made him have the cleanest. That thing went straight up to God. It stopped and stayed right in the air. And you saw this in the middle. And everybody looked up.
Like, if you have no idea what we're talking about, and you have not seen any of these videos are viral right now. Go on any social media platform. You will find, just look up Montgomery, Alabama.
That's all you need to put on. This Montgomery, and the first 18 news stories you're going to see basically is about that day. Did it happen on the Saturday or the Sunday?
It happened on Saturday.
It happened on the Saturday. Okay, yeah. It definitely going to be a day that we're going to remember right along with Juneteenth. It's going to be one of those days that we're going to be like, remember back when? Yeah. So the anniversary, we're going to basically celebrate it. But I'm not trying to act like it was this great glory standoff, but it was a building thing in our society where we have come to a point where we are tired of basically being spoken to in a way where the recipients feel as though we don't have the right to do so, or we feel as though we cannot, because of fear of our lives, step in and help our brother man, or people think in their brains that we won't step in and put our lives on the line to help one another.
Our ancestors, you will catch hands, and that's what Montgomery showed.
Absolutely,
you will catch hands. You can feel you're entitled. You can feel you can say and do as you please. Not no more.
Absolutely. Them days is done. Everybody I've heard talk about this has said, and I was speaking to you about it before, they say about it like, oh, I don't condone violence, and I'm just like, yeah, I don't condone violence either, but justify, there is such thing as justified violence when you need to protect yourself, or if you need to protect another person basically who needs help. And that man was grossly outnumbered by people who obviously had no respect for any type of authority, much less his authority. And basically he was brave enough to face down all of those guys, and they cowardly attacked him. And so by seeing this, and everybody who was on that boat who saw it, and thank God for the Samsung and the iPhone, they got every single angle. I mean, CCTV can't London's cameras can't.
Thank goodness for the folding chair too. That was
I don't know where it came from. Someone carried it off the boat or something. It was somebody had one in their trunk or their minivan, and they said, "Hold up, I got something." Because I mean, hey, when that time comes, you grab a cinder block if you need to.
It's like being in trouble with your mama and grandmama. Everything is used as a switch. Everything. It didn't matter what. I'm taking an iron. I'm taking a tree branch. I'm getting a cord. It don't matter. A shoe.
I will whoop you with my hand until I find something else to stick in my hand. I mean, it is what it is. You got to do what you got to do. So, my man, I mean, don't get me wrong. when he came through, it was basically, I'm not giving him any kind of excuses. It was adrenaline. He was basically like,
it was.
my man was, what's his name? Cactus Jack. Bang,
Cactus
bang.
Jack. Yes, Cactus Jack. Yeah, buddy.
He was hitting that. He didn't care who it was. They was going to catch it.
Mick Foley.
Mick Foley. Mankind.
WWE in this piece. Yep.
Not Cactus Jack. Yeah, Mankind.
Yeah,
Mick Foley.
Cactus Jack, Mick Foley. Same person.
Yeah, same person. Okay, okay. The WWF days is just like all mixed in my brain right now, basically. But the chair came out of every. It was just like plain and simple. We're gonna give it to you so that you can forever remember this, and tell a friend. Tell a friend. It's not those days anymore. We know what we've had to deal with for so long, on many different levels. And thank goodness we were there for our brother. I was there in solidarity. I was there in spirit, brother. But I'm so glad you had so many of your people there to make sure that you basically didn't get hurt in a way and was able to basically also avenge you. They got their licks back, plain and simple. So, like they say, F around, find out. It is what it is. You know, hopefully you guys, nobody has any serious injuries, but stand up for your neighbors, take care of each other. All right, yo. So I'm gonna head out. Go ahead and say goodbye, Omarr.
All right, thank you again for allowing me to be on the show. I had a great time. I love the laughs. You kill it. Your show is awesome. I listen to it all the time. Subscribe to her, listen to her, tell a friend, let that friend tell a friend. All right.
Appreciate it, man.
She's on and popping, and you will absolutely love her show. So continue to tune in. And again, thank you for allowing me to be here to enjoy
anytime,
this
bro. Many times to come. The first of many to come. But thank you very much, guys. My name is CallMeNakomi.